What's up? Hi, welcome to a unscripted video where I talk about my Sonic collection. A few of you have asked for like a tour of my Sonic collection, and I'm doing some spring cleaning at the moment. I'm dusting everything, I'm cleaning it all up. So I figured, what the hell, you know? I might as well give it a shot, indulge you guys. You want to see what I've got, so I'm here to deliver. This isn't in any particular like order of this is my favorite versus this isn't. This isn't gonna be like a definitive thing. I don't have a lot of physical games from Sonic, as much as that hurts me. I have a lot of the games digitally, so sorry. This is mainly gonna cover figures, this is mainly gonna cover plushies, this is mainly gonna cover like physical little trinkets that I've got, just various bits. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about some plushies. We'll start off with this guy. This is the Sonic Squishmallow. I believe it's 8 inches. I could be wrong. I think he's cool. I also have a Tails and a Knuckles in the Squishmallow line. You'll have seen these guys in some of my stuff before. They sit on my couch with me and they keep me company while I play video games. I like them. I think they're neat. I'm not too big on like Squishmallows in general, but I don't know, something about these guys just kind of I just like them. I like them. I think they're neat. Next up is this guy. This is the Jakks Pacific Sonic plush. I think, I could be wrong, it might not be Jakks. It doesn't have a label on it. This was a gift, so I know it's a modern plush. I know it's something that you can buy these days. I used to have the Jazzwares Werehog and the Jazzwares Sonic plush back in the day, and I probably still have them like up in the attic or something, but I couldn't find them before I started filming this, so just pretend they're here. Moving on, I've got this huge, oh, you can't even see that, huge Classic Sonic plush. I think he's really cool. There is a Tails and a Knuckles of these, and like I've thought about getting them, but I don't have space. So, moving on, I've got this huge Sonic Head plushie. It's a bit of a, I think it's Mega Mochi, Club Mochi, Moki Moki. I don't know. It's by Tomy. It's just it's a big pillow. It's very soft. It's very squishy. He sits on my bed most of the time, and like, you know, when I'm in bed on my Steam Deck or my Switch or on my laptop doing, you know, script writing and stuff, he'll just kind of be there and support my head, and it's a good little guy, good little thing. This is the other plushie that I have. This is a, oh god, I actually do not know who made this, but I know it's from Sonic X. I got this when I was like 5 or 6. And there's a video of me like opening him on a Christmas morning. And he used to talk. If you pressed his hand here, he would say a couple of lines from Sonic Adventure 1. But I believe this is a Sonic X plushie. Like, I don't know my Sonic toy lore as well as some other people might, like Kyle's Game Room or Super Sonic Boom or some other people that I am thinking of but can't remember off the top of my head because I'm doing an unscripted video. Yeah, this guy has like bendable limbs. He's got like metal rods in there, and this one here on mine is a bit floppy because the rod is in here, but it's like folded backwards, and I've tried to like unfold it, but I don't want to break it because obviously this is my childhood Sonic, and I don't want to like compromise him. But yeah, so we're gonna open his brains. He's got a little talk box in here, and I've never actually tried to replace the battery in this, but he used to speak. So yeah, that's this guy. Let's move on to some odd curios and oddities and a few other weird things. This is a Sonic Superstars pre-order bonus acrylic stand. I don't know if this came out anywhere else in the world, but this one was from Australia, from EB Games. For pre-ordering Sonic Superstars, you got this little standee of the guys. Say what you will about the game, I think this is cute. Do I like Superstars? I am undecided on it. This is a can with a JPEG on it. This is the G Fuel Sonic Peach Rings. I did not like this. It was not nice. I gave it to my friend and I was like, drink this and give me the can when you're done with it. And it just kind of sits here, it's empty. There's nothing in there. It'd be really funny if there's something on it. There is not. So yeah, there you go. JPEG can. I've got a Tubbs of Sonic. He's like a little rubber ducky. He's very sweet. He's very rubber ducky. I don't know, man. He's a rubber duck. What more is there to say? He's a tiny little rubber duck that is dressed like Sonic, or is Sonic with a beak. Then that might bring some existential questions into the mix, but I don't know. So yeah. Okay. I'm done talking random bits and bobs. Oh no, I'm not. Actually, I lied. I've got this little nanoblock shadow, which I got as a gift a couple of years back, like a Secret Santa thing, or Kris Kringle, I think it's called in some places. He's very delicate, and he used to have little bits extra here on his spines, but I have lost them because he is extremely delicate, and like the blocks are tiny. So yeah, he's cool though, and it's cool that, you know, you can get such detail in a figure that is this tiny, just out of blocks. So yeah. All right, let's talk some figures. We've got the Nendoroid, or is it Nendoroid? Is it Nendroid or Nendoroid? I don't actually know. But I've got Sonic here. I've got the rest of them, which I will share in a second. This is Sonic. He's been in other poses in my videos in the background, but this is the pose that he's in right now. I don't know. I really like this figure. It was one of the first big figures that I got for myself when I was like, I don't know, 12, 13, was a Sonic Nendoroid. It was a bootleg, but recently, a couple of years back, they did a reprint of him, so I picked him up, and I now have an official one. One of the easiest ways that I could tell my guy was a fake was the faceplate here, the holder for the faceplate. Also, sorry if I just like mortified someone. They have multiple faces that you can put on. The faceplate holder is supposed to be white, right? Like there. But on a bootleg, it's blue. And also the joints all suck and keep falling apart. And it's just generally like not as high quality as the official one, which I have now found out. It's got a real nice feel to it. I'm not a figure reviewer, man. I don't know what I'm fucking saying, but yeah. We've got the Shadow Nendoroid. This is a little custom pose that I put in because he doesn't actually hold his emerald, but I can't really see it. There's a blue tack. There's a bit of blue tack holding the emerald to his hand, so he can hold it like this. I thought about giving him the green one from the Sonic Nendoroid, but I didn't. So sorry about that. But I think he's cool. I really like the little stylings on the Nendoroids, like the chibis. Here's the green Chaos Emerald from Sonic. We'll put that there. Here is Knuckles. Now, my Knuckles, look, can someone else tell me if their Knuckles is also like really flimsy? Like he's so floppy, like you can see his arm there is just not really like staying still. And that's really cool. Just kidding, it's not. I also don't know if I've got his feet on the wrong way, but whoops. Yeah, I like this guy. Look, there it is. Things falling out again. I like this guy. I like the Nendoroids. I like the chibi style. My favorite Nendoroid is Astrobot, funnily enough. I got him like a couple days ago. He came in the mail, and he is just adorable. His design just suits the Nendoroid so well, and I was saying that to myself like as I was playing Astrobot. But I'm going on a tangent here. This is the video at Sonic. Here's the Tails Nendoroid. This one's adorable. This one's so sweet. I put the goggles on him because I think it's cool. That is the only reason. I know he doesn't normally wear goggles like in the lore, but this is my figure, so I can do what I want. I've tried to keep the Chaos Emeralds that they come with as well, like pretty, you know, with each figure. So my theory, I guess you could say, is that down the line they'll do a Supersonic Nendoroid, maybe, and then that'll be cool because you could pose all of the Chaos Emeralds with him. I don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of Chaos Emeralds, though, let's let's talk Chaos Emeralds. I've got a few. I've got a couple assorted Chaos Emeralds from my time. These are none of these are from the same line. These two are from Jakks Pacific. I don't know what figures they came with. I forgot. I think the Master Emerald came with Chaos. And these four are from the Jazzwares Super Pack, which I have and I will get into in a bit. But the Chaos Emeralds, I don't know where the other ones are. I've had these since I was a kid. I've had these since childhood, and I've just dropped the green one. So there goes another one. I've only got 3 now. I think I lost them in like a move or something, which is kind of sad, but you get over it. I'm not too attached to these. I know some people are like super into like maintaining everything, right? But my defense is I was a kid and I didn't know any better, and I was a kid, of course I'm gonna play with my toys. Next up is Funko Pops. I'm not the biggest Funko Pop collector. I have like, I want to say maybe 7 tops, and they've all been gifts. Like, they're cool that they exist, right? They're cool that there's like small affordable figures of characters, and sometimes they're real deep cuts. But most of the time, I don't know, something about the style just doesn't really appeal to me. But anyway, here are the Sonic ones that I have. So we've got Sonic, we've got Sonic, we've got Sonic. That's it. That's all. Those are all the pops I have. I have the Hero Chow as well from the Sonic Adventure 2 pop vinyl. Here he is. He's just kind of there. But yeah, like I said, not a big pop guy. Sorry if you are. No disrespect if you are also. Like, that's cool. You do you. You have your stuff. But they're just not my thing, you know? I'll do some big figures. I'll do some big guys. So, obviously, if you have been following me for a while, you know about this guy. This is the Sonic Generations Collector's Edition statue that came with, believe it or not, Sonic Generations Collector's Edition. This was like a grail of mine for so long, and one day I saw it and I picked it up and I made a video about it, and I think that's cool. And now he sits on my shelf, and yeah, I like it. This statue is more about, its symbolic representation and all of that. I've yapped about it at length before, but we've got, you got Modern Sonic, you got Classic Sonic, you got a big old ring. Speaking of rings, here's mine from the Generations Collector's Edition. I have everything else. I have the art book, I have the CD, but they're somewhere else, and this is a video about figures. So this statue is the first 4 figures Classic Sonic. I believe it is a special edition or a collector's edition. I don't know. It was a gift. I think it lights up. Like, genuinely, I think that the you can't see that there. I think that these light up when it's plugged in, and I've never plugged it in before, but I do have a cable. So we are going to plug this in for the first time and get nothing. Oh, it's got a switch on the bottom. Oh, look at that! That's so cool! I've never done this before. I've never actually seen this light up before. That's so cool. Wow. There you go. Okay, so it makes sense now why there's a big plastic ring around it. That's cool as f***. Okay. The only other big figure that I have is this guy. This is the 10-inch Metal Sonic by Jazzwares. I'm holding him by the leg here because it fell off when I was a kid. This is my one from childhood, so sorry. But like, this guy is so cool. I don't know. I love him. He's so sick. Obviously, my favorite Sonic character is Sonic. Original, I know. But I love Metal Sonic. And he was like, I don't know, my second favorite, I guess you could say, Sonic character. I've got to really make sure that he doesn't just fall apart here on me. But like, you got so much detailing on this guy, on the back and the head, and the sculpt is cool as hell. Okay, we almost lost him there. We almost lost him. Yeah, he doesn't stand up on his own, unfortunately, because of the leg sitch. but you know, that's okay. He normally just sits kind of up against a wall on my shelf, so it works out. Let's go into some accessories and stuff, some like little extra bits and bobs before we talk about like the Jazzwares figures and the Jakks figures and stuff like that. I had a bunch of stuff, a bunch of extra bits and bobs. Some of these are accessories from Jazzwares figures, from Jakks figures. Some of these are little trinkets from like blind bags and stuff, so I'm just gonna kind of toss it all here and we can talk about them. So first up, let's talk the Wisps. This is a white Wisp, and I got a laser Wisp, cyan Wisps, and a rocket / orange Wisp. These are from a Australian special edition of Sonic Colors for the Wii. It came with a figure of Sonic as well, and I don't know if it's just because I like played rough with him or if he was extremely flimsy. I do not remember, but he shattered into like a billion pieces, and so I've still got it somewhere. But it's like in a box, and it's just completely like arms are not connected, elbows are not connected, joints are not connected, head's completely off. It just wasn't. I don't know. I remember it as a build quality issue, but it could also actually just be a skill issue. I don't know. So yeah, the Wisps, they are cool. I wish the Cyan Wisp stood up on his own. Obviously, he does not, but the White Wisp normally does, and the Rocket Wisp normally does. These were from blind bags, and they were both like the secret rare that you would get in the blind bags. I don't remember what series they're from each, because it was like a gift, but this is a Golden Supersonic, and this is obviously a Coco from Sonic Frontiers. They just kind of sit on the shelves and like dangle and look cool. A couple other assorted miscellaneous figures. Let's get into it. This is a McDonald's toy. This is Sonic from Movie 2. He's been in my car for a few years now, so his hands are a bit yellowed from the sun. Apologies. But it's cool because like you would like pull this back and he would go forward. There's blue tack on the bottom because he was in the car on the dash. And now he just kind of chills out. I got a different Sonic in the car now, so that's cool. I actually don't know who made this, but I think it's Toy Island. It's a bendable Eggman figure. I've had it since I was a kid. His leg is like kind of coming off there. It's one of the only Eggman figures I own. For whatever reason, in Australia, Eggman stuff is really hard to come by, so I've got this guy, I got a couple of Jakks figures, and that's it. Like, that is it. I really wanted a 3-inch Eggman, or like from the 3-inch Sonic line from Jazzwares with Metal Sonic. I could never get it because people like to forget that Australia exists. So I've got a couple of Lego figures. I have the sets as well, but like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really suck at building Lego sets. Not like I'm bad at following instructions, but just like I'll start something and then I'll be like, let's move on to something else, and then I'll just leave like a unbuilt Lego set in, you know, in a shelf or in its box, just forever, basically. But that's, you know, I got the figures at least, and this guy is from a little poly bag that I found at the Lego store one time. I think it's the monkey from Sonic 3. I forgot his name. But speaking of Lego sets and how I don't complete them, this is one that I have completed. This is the Lego Ideas Sonic the Hedgehog. It is the first official Sonic Lego set before it became like a full-on theme. Technically, it's not the first if you want to count Lego Dimensions, but for the purpose of this, we're going to count this as the first. It's really sick. Don't mind the crab meat almost falling over there. It's got classic Sonic, you've got a Motobug, you've got just a lot of detail. It was kind of a bitch to put together though, because like all of these are like 1x1 Lego bricks on top of each other. I don't know the proper term for them, I'm not a Lego guy. But this is one of my favorite Lego sets ever because it's Sonic, yes, but yeah, I dig this. I was there day one. The second that I could buy that in the Lego store, like I was there and I picked it up and I built it probably like a couple weeks later. But you know, I got it and it's there. And it also came with this buildable Eggman figure in the Eggmobile, and I think he's just a little bit strange. Like, you had a Big Fig design in LEGO Dimensions, why not just use that? And I'm sure there's probably like a mock or something on Bricklink or on one of those alternate LEGO sites that replace the Eggmobile with like a proper minifig seat, so you can put the official Eggman minifig in from like the newer sets. But I don't have that. I'm lying. I do. I have the Death Egg robot, but it is unbuilt. Sorry. The LEGO Sonic set also came with the 7 Chaos Emeralds, plus this stand if you want to put Sonic on the stand. So yeah, that's LEGO. Let's move on to other things, to greener pastures, to actual figures, maybe. Should we move on to actual figures? I think that's what you guys are here for, right? It's okay, this video's got chapters, so like you can just skip around and see whatever you want to see. I won't be upset. I'll be really upset. I should make a chapter and just be like, call it James Drinks Tea. Okay, let's talk figures. I've got some boxed ones first. I'm not a big boxed guy. I don't like to keep things in the box, right? Unless they were bought for me specifically like as a gift in the box, I'll keep them in the box. Or if I just think they're cool, I'll keep them in the box. I don't have like a system for this. So these are the things I have in the box. First up is another pop vinyl. It is a Supersonic glow-in-the-dark classic Supersonic, that is, first appearance, so Sonic 2, from the summer convention of Funko. I got him at EB Games. I think he's cool. He does glow in the dark. It is a little strange, but yeah, he's in the box just because he was held for me. The people working at the store at the time were like, well, we know you like Sonic, James, so here's a Sonic, and we're gonna hold him for you. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So I haven't taken him out of the box, and that is it. That is the reason. I've got these two guys, a 2.5-inch Supersonic and regular modern Sonic. Again, I don't have a reason for keeping things in the boxes versus not. I'm not like a die-hard, like everything has to be boxed sort of guy. But the only other Sonic character that I have boxed, like figure-wise, is this guy. This is Metal Sonic 3.0. And the main reason that I have this guy in the box is purely like a sentimental thing. So I went to England last November. First thing I did was run straight to Smith's, which is a toy store there. Because Australia just doesn't really get a lot of the Jax lines. Australia doesn't get a lot of Sonic merch in general. I'm gonna rant for a second. I don't know if this is just like theory, speculation based on me and my experience, but it seems like in terms of like waves of Jax figures, Australia gets jack shit. If a wave has like a niche character in it, you won't get it, basically. If your wave has like Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, whatever, done. It's yours. You get it. But Metal Sonic 3.0, you are not going to get that because parents are not going to buy their kid a Metal Sonic 3.0 because they're going to, like, little Timmy's going to be like, who's that up there? And their mum will be like, I don't know. It says Sonic on it. Surely you should know. But it's actually Metal Sonic 3.0 from Sonic Rivals on the PSP, which came out like a bajillion years ago for that kid. It probably came out before this kid was even born. I was really excited to see this guy. I thought he was cool. I really like Metal Sonic 3.0's design. I haven't actually played Sonic Rivals or Rivals 2, whichever one he's from. So, sorry. But, I don't know, I think the design's cool, and I never thought we would get this wave in Australia. We didn't because I had to buy him from Smith's in the UK. And it was just like a little nice memento of like, yeah, this was one of the first things I did when I went back to England, was buy a Sonic figure. So, I got my priorities straight, obviously. That does it for the box figures. Let's talk about actual like stuff that you're here to see. Before we get into the Jazzwares stuff, I have a couple of Toy Island and Resource figures, and by a couple, I literally mean two. I have one Toy Island figure and one Resource figure. I don't know if this guy is bootleg or not, this Adventure Sonic, the skiing Sonic. I don't think he is, but I got him secondhand when I was a kid for like $10 at like one of those like car boot sales. So he didn't have any accessories. He was literally just this. And this guy, I got him last year. It was a Toy Island. I think it's the Sonic Adventure one. I don't think it's the Sonic X version of this because the copyright on here is from 2000. That being said, I've never actually looked into it, so I could be wrong. But I like these guys. These are cool. They're like little retro, you know. I had one of these when I was a kid, but it was the Sonic X version, and I don't have it anymore because it fell apart. You know, you're a kid. You play with your toys. But I have this one now, and he's featured in a couple of videos. He's just like a little Easter egg. I've never really gone out of my way to point him out. But this was one of the first Sonic figures I owned. Not this one exactly, but like, you know, this kind of figure. Okay, let's talk Jazzwares. First up, the 3-inch Jazzwares Sonic. I love this guy. It is a little bit biased. It is a little bit of nostalgia, but this guy to me represents like a starting point. I used to love Supersonic Boom when I was a kid, and one of the biggest things that he did was make stop motion animations, mainly with the 3-inch line of figures. And I always wanted one of these, but could never find one. And then one day I did find one, and I lost him when we moved house, because I take great care of my stuff, obviously. But I picked this guy up last year completely by coincidence. I saw him on Facebook Marketplace in a bundle with a few other like Jax figures, and I was like, I don't know what that guy's doing there, but he's mine now. So I have him. I don't know, I love how much articulation is in these guys. I love the head sculpts. I'm not the biggest fan of the big knobbly joints, but you know, it's charming, it's nostalgic. So yeah, this is my guy. This is my G, my dude. Other 3 inches I've got, I have another Sonic. This is the All-Stars Racing variant that obviously came in the car, and you can take him out of the car, but I'm not gonna do that. The only difference is he's got hands that are open. I found this guy on the same day that I found the Generations Collector's Edition. He was in stock, like he came in the same like wave of stock to the game store that's near me, and that was cool. And I was like, I'm done. It's mine. I've got it. That was a wild day. So yeah, I have two 3-inch Sonics. I like them both equally. Obviously, I lie. I'm a little bit more biased towards this one because that's the one that I had, and then I lost him. My original one actually never had a middle spine on the back. It was missing, so I made one out of blue tack. If I ever find it, I will show you guys. If you don't believe me, I will show you if I find it. If I don't find it, I'm sorry. I have another couple of the All-Stars Racing variants of the figures. I have a Tails here, and I also have a Shadow. I like the Shadow the most out of all of them because, you know, it's his bike. It's the bike that he rides in the games. I have another Shadow. I have a Generations Shadow from the 20th anniversary Sonic Through Time series. He's got like a darker muzzle compared to the All-Stars Shadow, and I think, I don't know, he's got a bit of a different paint job. That could be, you know, from age, from playing with him over the years when I was a kid, not now. Speaking of the Sonic Generations line, I also have a classic Tails, and I had a classic Sonic, but he fell apart. His foot fell off, and he's in a bag somewhere. That's like I have a bunch of 3-inch figures that like I've been meaning to like glue back together, right? Just, you know, to put on the shelf. There's a classic Sonic, there's another 3-inch Tails, there's a Jet from Free Riders, and there's probably some other stuff in there as well. But for the purpose of this, I didn't want to show off like, here's all my broken shit. So, sorry. I got a few more figures from the 3-inch Jazzwares line. This is an egg pawn that came with Knuckles, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure these guys came together. Actually, you know what? I'll Google it. Give me a second. Where is my phone? This is Knuckles and an egg pawn from the Sonic Generations line of figures. I like them. I think they're cool. This Knuckles is a lot more... what's the word? This Knuckles is a lot easier to pose than the Jax one that I'll get into in a bit. I think the Jazzwares 3-inch Knuckles is probably my favorite Knuckles figure out of all of the ones that I have. I don't know if I need a reason, but he is. So I have the silver that came with the Iblis Spider. He does not have a nose anymore. Sorry, I played with my toys when I was younger. Yeah. I don't really have too much to say about this guy. I think he's cool. I really like Silver. Silver was one of my favorite characters when I was younger. He still kind of is, but he's been shafted. He's been sidelined, man. People don't like Silver anymore. Is it because of Sonic 06? Probably, but I thought he was cool. You know, he had cool powers. He had a cool backstory. At least for a kid in 2006, seeing that and being like, "What the hell's going on, man?" I thought it was neat. I've got a Vector and an Espio. My Espio is on the verge of death though. His joints are all and I used, I think, some pink blue tack to kind of try and fix that up when I was younger. I have not really touched him since. He just kind of sits in the back of the shelf. And my Vector, this hand actually snapped off when I was trying to pose him, when I first got him when I was younger. And then I had to glue it back on. I like this guy. I think he's cool. That's my reasoning for most of these figures is I think they're cool. What more reason do I need, I'm not a toy reviewer. I'm not going to be like, yeah, check out the sculpt on this guy, man. The paint job is really fucking sick, man. The articulation. These are toys, man. There are people that are so much better at articulating, what they think about these figures. I'm just a guy who likes shit. So, yeah. I like Vector. I like Espio. Espio's full over almost. The only other 3-inch figures that I have from Jazzwares are my favorite ones, and that is the Super Pack. So you've got Super Sonic, Super Silver, and Super Shadow, and God, these guys were so cool. I had to import this from America when I was younger, because we just didn't get this kind of stuff in Australia, and I probably paid way too much for it, but I was a kid and I had pocket money, so it is what it is. But man, the sculpt on this guy's head is just so good, and these guys are cool as well. Shadow's obviously just a recolor, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. I dig these guys, and they're my favorites. I have a couple other Jazzwares figures, not a whole lot. Obviously, I've got that 10-inch Metal Sonic that I showed off a second ago. I've got this guy. This is a Super Poser. Obviously, I know Toy Island made this originally, but this was a Jazzwares. This was a Jazzwares variant of it in the Jazzwares packaging and all that. He's very lanky, and his joints are super loose, and he doesn't stand up by himself most of the time. Look, he'll just fall over. And outside of that, I've got 2 figures from the 5-inch line, which is Sonic from Sonic and the Black Knight and Classic Sonic. I have picked up this guy in the last couple of years. This was the very first Jazzwares figure that I owned. This was the first Sonic figure that I got after moving to Australia. We had to import him from the US, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where Caliburn went. He's probably at an old house. But man, this guy was everything for me. Way back when. He's seen better days, but he's so cool, man. Black Knight is such a cool game. It's say what you will about it, it's got aura, it's got a vibe, and that vibe is fucking sick. I mean, Sonic with a sword, right? You've got critics, you've got haters that are like, Shadow with a gun, Sonic with a sword, there's something wrong with that. I liked it. I don't know, I think he's neat. I think he's neat. That is all of my Jazzwares stuff and my Resaurus and my Toy Island stuff. So we'll talk about the stuff that's actually on shelves right now. at the time of making this video, are the current manufacturers of the Sonic toy line. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but it sounds right to me. I have a love-hate relationship with Jakks Pacific. Some of their stuff is really, really cool, and others I'm like not 100% on, but they are the most accessible in Australia, because they actually send their stuff out to Australia, or companies import Jakks Pacific stuff from Australia. No, to Australia. God, I suck at this. And they sell it at Kmart and Target and Big W, I think. But as of right now, there's nothing on the shelves. I've been looking every time I go for like the last 3 months. There has been nothing. So what's going on there, guys? Can you remember that Australia exists, please? Because I want to give you money. Let's start off with my least favorite Jakks figures, and that would be the Sonic Prime line. I don't have too many of these. I have this guy. This is Sonic from Episode 1, New York City, I believe it's called. I didn't really watch Sonic Prime. I watched a little bit of it with one of my friends, and it just didn't grab me, you know. And it just, I don't know. I don't think I was in the target audience for it. But the figures are cool, right? They're my least favorite, but they just, I don't know. They're 5-inch figures. What I don't like about these though is how big the eyes are, and then also like, can you hear that? They just, I don't know, they don't feel like quality sculpts for the heads. Something just feels off about them. No offense, Jakks. I'm sure you guys did the best with what you could, but I don't know, something about these just feel off. So I've got that guy. I have a Shadow. I like the Shadow one a bit more because it's more accurate to the games, and yeah, but it's still just like, I don't know, the head feels a bit cheap. And I also have this figure of 9 from Prime. And I don't know, I think 9's a cool character. I like what they're doing here with all of his little Robo-Tails. I haven't actually seen most of Sonic Prime. I know this guy plays a big part in it. So I don't know what his like overall story arc is, but I like this figure. You know, out of all of the Prime figures, this is my favorite one. I don't have a lot of them. That's just because I don't really like the design of most of the Prime like variants of characters. It's personal preference. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that will like have every single Sonic thing under the sun. I'd never really consider myself a collector of sorts. I just buy shit that I think is cool. That's all. I forgot about this, but I also have a Sonic Movie 3 5-inch. These are some of the coolest figures that Jakks have actually done in terms of like articulation and what you can actually do with these figures. But this is the only one that I have because, like I said, people forget that Australia exists. And so when I went hunting for the figures, this was literally the only one I could find. So that's cool. If I see other Sonic Movie 3 figures, I will absolutely pick them up. But as of right now, this is the only one that I have. So let's talk 2.5-inch line of Jakks Pacific. First up, I've got this Sonic. I have a Tails. Do I have a Knuckles? I do have a Knuckles. I've got a Knuckles. These are all modern, by the way. I have a few classics as well. I have another Sonic, a running Sonic. I have 2 of these. One of them is in my car and on like the dash. And this is the one that I keep pristine in my house. Because the one in my car is sun damaged because I live in Australia and it is very sunny here a lot, which means that your things will get sun bleached, which kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. I have a 2.5-inch Shadow the Hedgehog. I think he's cool. I have a Silver from the 2.5-inch line. I've got a Rouge from the 2.5-inch line. Do I have any other modern figures? Oh yeah. And I have a 2.5-inch Eggman. And that is the modern line that I have in the 2.5-inch range. But I'm not really a big fan of the 2.5-inch range for the modern characters specifically. I really like them for the classics though. And I have an okay amount of classic figures, so let's have a look at them. First up, obviously, we have Sonic. Classic Sonic, that is. We have classic Tails. we have Classic Knuckles. And I also have Mighty and Ray. So that is the entire roster from Sonic Mania. They should have added Amy to Mania, and that is a hill that I am willing to die on, but I will not go into further detail about that right now. I have a Classic Supersonic. I'm a big sucker for anything Supersonic. I really, really like the design. Yeah. I have a Classic Eggman, or Robotnik, if you want to, use his government name. And he's fine. He's very round. And I have a few other little baddies. I've got a Buzz Bomber in the Lost World design. I always thought that was a bit strange that they made a figure out of the Lost World variant of this. And I guess also the Dream Team variant, the Sonic Dream Team. Have you guys ever actually played Sonic Dream Team? It's freaking good. But it's hard to get because it's only on Apple Arcade. And I think that kind of sucks, but like I get it, Like I get why they did that. I don't know. It's a bit of a ramble. But yeah, Buzz Bomber. So we'll put him there. And then the other two tiny little figures that I've got is a little 2.5-inch Fang and a Mecha Sonic Mark 1. I really like this guy, mainly because his arms are on like little ball joints. He's my favorite of the 2.5-inch figures to just kind of like mess around with. And his head's on a ball joint too, that's so cool. My memory card's full. My memory card's full. I'm gonna have to stop this and start it again. Okay. Okay, we're back. I was talking about Silver Sonic, no, Mecha Sonic Mark 1, sorry. Please don't come for me in the comments. I like this guy, I think he's cool. He's got the coolest, like, I don't know. He's my favorite of the 2.5-inch line, just because, you can fidget with him. He's got ball joints, like, everywhere. And he's very, like, you're able to, pose him kind of dynamically for a tiny figure as small as these. I've just killed Eggman. Anyway, let's talk about the 4 inches. Obviously, first up, we have Sonic. Not much to say about it. It's Sonic. I feel like it's pretty hard to mess up a Sonic figure. And I have a Tails, and I don't really like this figure. I don't really like the paint job on it. I think it's too, like, nuclear yellow. And his tails come off really easily. I have him... See, case in point. I know you're supposed to, like, have it like that, but he does not stand up that way. So I have him like that, and he'll just kind of, stand on his own. It's a pretty decent... It's a decent Tails figure. I just have a love-hate relationship with the paint job of it, specifically. But this isn't exactly a 4-inch figure. This is a bendable figure from Jakks. Of Tails, and I don't know, I like this one. This is actually like one of my favorite Tails figures that I have. He doesn't really line up proportions-wise with the regular Jakks. He's a little too big, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. They did a good job with this one though. He does not stand up. God damn it. We have Knuckles, and I know this is not the first Knuckles. There are 2 4-inch Knuckleses, and this is the second one. This is the second head sculpt that they did. I don't have the first one. I like this guy. We've got Shadow, we've got Silver, we've got Cream, we've got Rouge, I've got Espio, I've got Vector, I've got Blaze. I almost call her Big. Like Big the cat, because she's a cat. Anyway, I've got Big. I don't know, they're cats, I guess. I've got Classic Sonic and Classic Amy. I've got Classic Metal Sonic, and I've got an Egg Robo. And now for some of my favorite 4-inch figures. We have Metal Sonic, we have Infinite. I think it's cool as hell that we have an Infinite figure, like, just in general. I really want a Mephiles, but we didn't get the wave that had Mephiles in it. Jakks Pacific, if you're watching this, hook a brother up, man. Like, and the final 2 figures for today's showcase are Chaos Zero and Neo Metal Sonic. That is my Jakks Pacific collection. That is my entire Sonic collection, actually. Thank you for watching. I didn't really have like a plan going into this. I know it's just a bit of a show and tell, but I hope you liked it. Stick around for more stuff. We'll have regular videos resuming anytime soon. Thanks for the support on my recent stuff. I will be making more. I'm not going anywhere. This was just a fun little bonus video, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, see you later.